Lyric Theater Company's Syndi Zook is the busiest woman in Burlington show business, but she's taking a break from it all to talk with us about the organization's upcoming productions, their commitment to the community, and much more on this week's Connect. Her background is as broad as her talent. She served on the board of directors for the Queen City Police Foundation and the advisory council to the Vermont Department of Health. She currently sits on the Friends of the Vermont Symphony Orchestra Champlain Valley Regional Board, and for the past 10 years, she's been the executive director of one of the largest amateur theater companies in the United States. Syndi, I don't know how you do it all, but I am so happy that you're here and you're going to tell us how you fit it in. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Ryan. Thanks for having me. It's nice to see you again.
Likewise, always a pleasure. First and foremost, congratulations are in order. You've been working on a massive fundraising campaign, climbing up to the ultimate goal, which is $1.4 million.
We are almost there.
Almost there.
Almost there.
Let's talk about how far away you are and what all this money has been going to.
Well, we have been working on a strategic plan for 10 years, actually, to find a permanent creation space for Lyric Theater Company. And we are $300,000 away from our goal of $1.4 million. We only need $300,000 more. We have purchased this beautiful building. There it is.
Yeah,
oh, that gorgeous building.
That is stunning.
And now we want to renovate it so that we can bring everything under one roof. Now, I don't know, people come to the theater and they see what Lyric does, and I don't want them to be thinking, where do they rehearse all of this? Where do they build all of this? But as a matter of fact, it's kind of a challenge. Working in the Flynn, we need to build our sets that are 22 feet high. We rehearse 55 actors sometimes. We have so many props and costumes that we've accumulated over the years. And for the last 40 years, we have been working and renting different little spaces, and it just hasn't been cost effective for us. So we really wanted to bring everything under one roof, marshal our resources, our volunteers, as well as get all of our stuff together so that we can be bigger and better, and also have all of our resources together so that we can help other members of the community, other community groups and schools to have sets and costumes and expertise. And
That's
it's
wonderful.
really exciting. And we have so many wonderful folks that have already contributed to get us to our $1.1 million, help us buy the building, and now just $300,000 more.
So close, so close. And it is going to be your home. You want to
Yes.
feel that connection. You don't want to feel
Absolutely.
as though you're intruding in someone else's spot, and you want those who are involved with Lyric to say, this is my home. I can come in,
Absolutely.
kick off my shoes.
And we will always do our shows at the Flynn. The performances are at the Flynn, but you can't rehearse them at the Flynn, and you can't build them at the Flynn. So we really needed a place to create this magic that we create and take it to the Flynn and do it for the public.
Well, I'm so happy to hear that it's all working out
I
for you
know.
at this point, and it's going to continue to climb. I can assure you that. When it comes to your background, you have such a broad background. You've worked in elder care for years. You were a teacher at Rice. You were in their drama department there. And you also worked with Folk Kids of Vermont.
Yes.
Now, what was Folk Kids, and what is or was your role in all of that?
Folk Kids in Vermont is a wonderful program that was founded by Ben Bergstein and April Warner back in the 80s. And right through the middle of the 2000s, it was active. It was a great program. We taught middle school kids, mostly, contra dances, Vermont contra dances, and then went all over the world in an exchange program where we went to Indonesia, China, Japan, Russia, Spain, France, and would do these exchanges where we would teach our Vermont contra dances and country dances to their students, and then they would teach their wonderful folk dances to our Vermont kids. So many kids came through this program over the years, and it really was a wonderful experience for myself and for all the kids.
Amazing experience and exposure
I know.
to the world.
Grace Potter went with us in 1996 to Indonesia, as she name drops. But so many, so many other wonderful kids came through that program over the 20 years that it was active. active. Same thing with the drama program at Rice High School. You know, I always can tell the kids that I taught at Rice High School because I see them in the street and they've got their families with them now, but they still say, "Oh, Ms. Zook." So I know that those are the Rice Drama School kids.
And you taught them respect among everything else, right? So in addition to Full Kids of Vermont, you also played a major part in the Open Stage. What was that?
Open Stage program was founded back in 1989. We just finished 25 years of the Open Stage X Theater Company, which was the drama program from the Burlington Parks and Recreation department. And for 25 years we did that program, and it was wonderful. Again, a lot of students coming through that program. There cannot be enough opportunity for kids to participate in theater. There just can't be. And the more kids get to participate and hands-on and learn and grow and learn how to collaborate and build confidence and study scripts and read and work with other kids, it's all good. But 25 years we did that program. It was award-winning, national award-winning program, the Open Stage. Yeah.
And you know what? It teaches them the discipline as well to memorize. I remember being a top myself in school theater, and you really do. You have to focus on what's in front of you. It helps you in the overall professional world when you get up there to give a presentation in front of your peers.
Well, Open Stage and the X Theater Company were also very unique because the kids wrote their own play. For 25 years, they worked with my partner in Open Stage, Mark LaChapelle, to create the characters and write their own story and write their own play. It was a really wonderful program.
That's a challenge, but it allows them to tap into their creativity as well. Speaking of creativity, you do it all. You do everything from behind the scenes to run Lyric Theater, but you perform as well. So do you enjoy more the on-stage aspect? Do you enjoy the behind the scenes? Is it all sort of going to the same overall goal? What do you prefer?
Well, I would be telling an untruth if I told you that I didn't love to perform. Of course, I love to be on stage, but the work that I'm doing behind the scenes with Lyric Theater really is,
there you are up on the screen right there.
That was 1988. That was when I played Miss Hannigan with the wonderful Al Myers as Daddy Warbucks. That was a great production. That was a really wonderful production.
The famous Annie, and that is with Lyric Theater, and there you are. That is, if anyone has ever seen a Lyric production, they know
that's what I get
you
to do
are
now.
The opening act.
Yes,
exactly.
I get to come out and say, could you please support us? Please support us even more, and thank you so much for coming. But you know, the work that I do behind the scenes and the work that all of us at Lyric do behind the scenes really is building a legacy. We've been there for 40 years, and we really are working hard, especially with this new building, to build a legacy so that generations can continue to be a part of community theater and be a part of Lyric Theater and bringing these wonderful musicals to the public and learning and growing. So even though I love to perform and I love to sing and dance on the stage, the work that I do behind the scenes is also very important. It's wonderful to be in a community for so many years. I mean, you were talking about all the things I've done, and really it's because I've been here for so long that I've had the chance to do all of these great things. And I've had a chance to work with elders for 20 years. I worked with the Champlain Valley Agency on Aging and the VNA, and I also got to work with so many wonderful children's groups. So I got both ends of the spectrum and really got a really broad relationship with this community that I love so much.
And that speaks to you as an individual, but it also speaks to our community as a whole and the relationship that Lyric has with the community. It is a very balanced relationship. Lyric wouldn't be here without the community, and the community wouldn't have access to such amazing performers, such amazing shows as well. So I want to talk a little bit more about Syndi, the actress. What was the most challenging role you've ever taken on?
Other than development director for a $1.4 million capital campaign, other than executive director, I think that's probably my most challenging role is actually raising the money for Lyric Theater. But every role is unique and every role is challenging. I mean, had the privilege of playing Miss Hannigan twice for Lyric in 1988 and in 1999, I think.
Revise the role. Huh?
Yeah, right.
Familiar territory, but
Familiar
I'm sure you forgot some of the
territory.
lines by that point. So.
I've gotten to play, I got to do, with Lost Nation Theater Company, I got to do The Importance of Being Earnest, and that was a wonderful opportunity. I got to do a three-penny opera with the Danville Summer Singers, which was really great. So I've had a chance to do a lot of theater. I just was part of a wonderful collaboration with the Off Center, which is this great little black box theater in the Old North End of Burlington, where we did an original play that Saints and Poets produced, an original play by Kevin Christopher called O Caligula, which was a musical about Caligula, and it was a blast. And again, wonderful work like what Lyric does, where we take classic musical theater pieces that have been around forever, and some new musical theater pieces like Legally Blonde, which are very new. And then I also have had a chance to do some wonderful original work in the community that people from here have written and produced. And that is a joy and a pleasure. And an artist in this area really has a lot of opportunity to grow, and it's been great.
They do. And if you do want to do something on the local level, Vermont is the place to do it.
Absolutely.
So I'm sure there is an outpouring of support for any live, new, they can support their fellow thespians.
Yes.
You've done it all. You've
Yes.
done a lot. You have been involved, as you said, with Lost Nation Theater, the St. Johnsbury Players. Lyric Theater is not shy about promoting their fellow actors.
No, not
and
at
it's
all.
a very genuine gesture, but talk to me about the community as a whole, the Vermont theater community.
I think the Vermont Theater Company, the Vermont theater community is very supportive of each other because we really do work together with many different groups. Those of us who are in Lyric are also working with the schools and working in other community theater groups. And it's like a high tide raises all boats, you know. The theater, I was at the Vermont International Film Festival last night, which just completed 10 days of fantastic films. And again, I'm on the Friends board with the VSO. And it's just wonderful to see people coming to the film festival and then coming to the Vermont Symphony Orchestra and then coming to Lyric Theater. Everyone is so supportive of the work that's going on. And it's a high quality of work for such a small state with a small catchment area, a small population. The quality of work that is happening here, both on the professional level like the Symphony Orchestra or the amateur level, is amazing. I'm constantly bowled over by the work that everyone's doing. And the people that work behind the scenes on the boards that do the thankless work of promoting and marketing and raising money, people are so dedicated on the boards of directors to help keep all of these nonprofit organizations in the arts going. And we really do check in with each other and see how each other is doing and what resources can we lend you and how we can help each other. And the Flynn, of course, is this beautiful gem in downtown Burlington, kind of serves as like a point, vortex that we could all spin around and use, which is really nice.
It is. It is a beautiful theater. If
Yes.
the folks at home have not had a chance to visit it, then
Yes.
they certainly should.
And now we're going to tell that story, right?
We absolutely
How about
are.
how
So
Lyric Theater saved the Flynn?
Let's. You knew exactly where I was going with this. So why don't you tell us how Lyric Theater saved the Flynn?
I really would love to, because Lyric Theater is a community theater group, and there are many wonderful community theater groups across the state of Vermont, and many that are much older than Lyric. I think the Essex Players have been around since the 1950s. But the Lyric story is so wonderful and unique because of Howard Delano. And Howard Delano is this wonderful man who worked at Pine Ridge School, who was an usher at the Flynn. As we know, the Flynn was a movie house, built as a movie house, had some vaudeville acts there in the early days, but basically always served as a movie house. And in the 50s, he was an usher. And he persuaded the owner to let him go behind the screen one day, and behind the screen of the Flynn was this sort of completely untouched theater with the ropes and the lights and all of the accoutrement of the theater. And he said, why isn't someone using this for a live theater experience? So in the 1970s, he convinced Merrill Jarvis to let Lyric come and start doing live performances at the Flynn. And it was wonderful. I've been with Lyric since 1980, so not quite 1974. But Howard Delano and Polly Nolte founded Lyric Theater Company in 1974. And very quickly, other wonderful people jumped in. Gibbs Smith, Marianne and Stuart Kendall, Bob and Joanne Stanfield, Bill and Terry Neen. So many wonderful people jumped in. And the beautiful Flynn had really fallen into disrepair. There was no water or facilities backstage. In fact, a great memory that we all have from the 1980s is we used to line up porta potties in the alley behind the Flynn because there was no place to use the facilities for actors backstage. In order to get from one side of the stage to the other side of the stage, you used to have to go out the back door, trudge along in the snow in your beautiful ball gown, and come in the other side. We had the pin rail to raise and lower the sets with sandbags, and you needed really strong people to pull the sandbags. But it was ours, and they used to put the screen down and show the movies, and we would work behind the screen and be in the Flynn working on our shows. And then for a couple weeks every year, we would get to do our shows.
What a rich history.
I know, it's amazing.
Wow.
So long about 1980, there was some talk about tearing the Flynn down and turning it into a multiplex movie house. And Lyric Theater spearheaded the effort, along with many other wonderful people in the community. John Gravel at the head of that effort, to purchase the Flynn. And so Lyric Theater Company bought the Flynn Theater in 1980 and saved it from the wrecking ball.
Isn't that amazing?
Now, we owned it for about 6 months before we realized that, you know, what we really want to do is do shows. We do not want to be the owners of a historic treasure that needs multi-million dollars worth of work done on it. So Lyric Theater was the first board for the Flynn. We spun off the Flynn to its own organization, and the rest is history.
The rest is history, but still lives on today
lives
because
on.
the Delano Nolte Scholarship is something that is still around.
Yes.
And tell us who is eligible for that and what the Delano Nolte Scholarship
Yes, every year
is.
Lyric Theater gives a scholarship to a high school student, a Vermont high school student, who is planning on going on to college or professional school.
There's a recent recipient
Yes,
up on the screen
that's
right
Olivia
there.
Hearn, yes.
There it is.
Continue on in the theater arts, either at a professional school or a college, and they get a scholarship. Any Vermont high school student is able to apply who's a senior going on, and the applications go out in March, and we give out the award to keep the name of Howard Delano and Polly Nolte alive, who were so important to the beginning of this organization.
So important to the beginning of the organization, and now you just saw someone who is furthering their education in the theater world. Kids play a major role in Lyric, and you actually have a summer camp for the kids themselves, which is Lyric Kids. I know we have a couple photos from past productions that we're going to pull up, and right there, it takes you back, doesn't it?
It really does. So many wonderful Lyric Kids. Oh, look, Lyric Kids, you were just talking about kids that are going further in their theatrical endeavors, to go on to college or professional school to learn more, to be professional actors. And we have many, many wonderful students who have come through Lyric, from Louis McWilliams, who is a New York actress now. Kirsten Anderson, who was just our Peter Pan a few years ago, is now touring the country in the role of Maria in The Sound of Music. Kate Weatherhead, Jacob Tischler, so many young people who are still professional actors, Paul Miller, who have come through the Lyric program. But in Lyric Kids, though, we actually try more than get kids excited about possibly having a career in theater. We really want kids to learn that community theater can be a hobby and a passion for life. You can do community theater for life. The theater, more than any other thing that I have participated in, is just sort of naturally multi-generational. It's naturally egalitarian. Right now, as you know, we're doing White Christmas. In the chorus line of tap dancers, we have the amazing Catherine Simmons, who's been with us for years, who's 67 years old, dancing right next to two young ladies who are sophomores in high school. Amazing tap dancers, all of them. And it's just a natural place where many of our older members can hand down their skills and their knowledge of painting, stagecraft, costuming to younger people without a lot of fuss and bother. It happens really naturally. It's not like, and now we will have a mentoring moment, and now we will have a multi-generational moment. It happens naturally.
It does.
And it's egalitarian. If you can sing, you can be in the show. If you can dance, you can be in the show.
You can't force that feeling. And
No.
even if you can't sing or dance, there are so many other ways to get involved.
Exactly.
And we're going to pause for a minute. You mentioned you're bringing White Christmas to the stage.
Yes.
In just a matter of days. So
Yes.
this is a crazy time for you to come in, and we pulled you away from everything. But for the folks at home, you are in for a treat. We are going to take a moment to watch a preview of White Christmas.
Snow, 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 snow. It won't be long before we'll all be bare with snow.
Lord, help the sister who comes between me and my bed.
And there you see it, costumes galore. We have some behind-the-scenes footage of another item, another marketing tool you have there is you do print off sweatshirts, t-shirts, all
yeah.
sorts of goodies to get out into the community.
Yeah. Ooh.
And
There's
here we go, behind the scenes.
That's our way too small warehouse that people are working in as we're waiting to renovate our new building so that we can get the set shop over into the new building. But again, we have some renovations that we need to do. Everyone is laboring in small quarters while we're waiting to get that renovation done.
So in terms of White Christmas, this is a major production. A lot of these productions you do are massive.
They're
You don't
huge.
shy away. Les Mis,
Yes.
you did that. Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. Some of the more recent shows that you've just recently done. How many people on average come out to audition for these shows, or does it depend on the show? Do you get a
It kind
higher
of depends
volume?
on the show. We had about 100 people come to try out for White Christmas, and someone this afternoon will call me at my office and correct me on this number, but I think our largest number, we had 285 people try out for Beauty and the Beast when we did that a few years ago. So of course people love to try out for shows that they have a connection with, either from their youth or something. So yes, some people try out more for some shows than other shows, but we always get an enormous turnout, and we always have broken hearts on Broadway. I mean, we always have to turn people down to be on stage, but hopefully we can open our arms and people can join us in the backstage, because for every one person that you see on stage in a lyric show, there are 2 or 3 people backstage. We have 440 volunteers this year that are helping us with White Christmas and then Mary Poppins, which is coming up in the spring.
That's wonderful. So Mary Poppins, basically the curtain closes
Yes.
on White Christmas, and you're already thinking ahead. You're
3
getting,
weeks later, we have auditions for Mary Poppins,
Isn't
and
that
tickets
something?
are already on sale for Mary Poppins.
They are.
Yeah.
So we have White Christmas. We don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves,
Right.
but you let me in on a little secret before we started taping. So it's
Yes.
going to be White Christmas, which is coming up next week.
Yep.
So this is actually going to be what is on your radar right now.
Right.
You're already thinking in the future, which is going to be Mary Poppins. So when will that take to the Flynn?
Mary Poppins opens April 1st, and will go through April 10th. We're doing 9 performances of Mary Poppins, which is very exciting for us. It's big, but very, very exciting. Lot of flying. Flying's always great. It's expensive, but it's great.
It's a risk, like anything you
The
do.
magic of theater can be expensive, but but that is why we work hard as a team to continue to raise support for lyric theater, because we do want to continue to bring these really large, fully fleshed out Broadway productions to the community at a price that the community can afford. We have a real commitment to not only making an opportunity for the members of our community to come and sing and dance and act, paint, sew, and be a part of theater, participate in theater. It's really cool to go and see stuff, but it's also really wonderful to get to participate in stuff. And Lyric is really one of the only opportunities that people have in Vermont to participate in theater on such a large professional quality scale. But that costs money, and so we work really hard to raise money and get support from the community and businesses in the community so that we can bring the costs down for people to come and see this work.
Now, Syndi, we have less than a minute to go, but
Oh, no.
quickly, I know, time flies when you're talking about what you're passionate about. If you could quickly describe what you would want someone who's coming to see a Lyric show, when they come to see a show, what do you hope that they walk away with?
I hope that they walk away with such great pride and joy in their community members, because Lyric is all community members. I stand on that stage, as you know, and say, this is all volunteers, and yet after every show, people will come up and say, where did you get the director? Where did you get the costumes? And it's like, nope, we made them. We made those costumes. That director works right here in the community.
Syndi Zook, I thank you so much for taking the time to spend with us. Break a leg with White Christmas and all your future productions. And I also want to say a big thank you to those at home. We want to connect with you and keep the conversation going. Go ahead, head on over to our website, vermontpbs.org, or you can email us at connect@vermontpbs.org. We will see you soon.